Welcome, welcome.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome to class 5 of module 2. So we decided to add another class because we've been checking in with everybody and everybody's in the thick of the subpersonality work. And so we've really tuned in, and I kind of intuitively saw this coming as well, right? To really give the space necessary for the integration before we continue moving and adding more content, more ideas. Like, I don't feel the group is ready for that. And so we're gonna, take one more class and then give you the next. So next week, as I posted the dates, is integration week. So then even more time to work through it and get yourself up to speed so that we can begin the new module feeling more integrated. Yeah. And so, yeah.
And remembering that this isn't about like, hey, we need to have all of these subpersonalities, the awareness of every one of them and the integration of every one of them before we move on to the next chapter or module, as we're calling it. This is just another part of the overall body of work. So any overwhelm and things, it's not like, oh my God, we got to be aware. I still have this. I don't even know. It's like now we have a tool for when we're walking and another little sub comes awake and it's like, hey, how are you? And sometimes it doesn't happen so quickly.
Yeah.
And sometimes we forget. And so this is where today we're going to spend some time creating a container where we get to have some more real-time practice to maybe like ahas and open some things up.
Yep. We'll give you a little lay of the land. So we're going to do we have a tuning in meditation. This is a subpersonality integration meditation, really beautiful. Excited about this. And I've been recording the meditation separately so that I can add some music and then make it accessible so that you can go back and re-listen to these meditations. Maybe do it in the morning, right? Incorporate it into your morning practice. So that's coming. And then we have a special surprise, the one we had mentioned last call that we didn't get to, and I'll wait for that when the time comes. And then we will we'll do some coaching, and we'll actually do one of the exercises, how to work with subpersonalities with one of you. Maybe there's a new subpersonality that you would like to be supported with, and we can do this process together. So that is in real time. So that's the plan for today. And so we're going to start with our tuning in meditation.
Yes, ma'am. Our favorite part. We get to decompress for a moment. So we're allowing the compressed parts of ourselves to bring our eyes to close and find ourselves in a comfy position. Any reading of any screens, any devices, maybe even put your phone on silent if you want to so you don't get interrupted with a ding. If you are driving or otherwise busy, please don't close your eyes. But of course, if you're able to, let's go ahead and do so. And with the eyes closed, we're going to breathe in the color of the rainbow and breathe out beautiful fluffy clouds. We're going to breathe in beautiful fluffy clouds and exhale sparkly rainbows all across the land. Picturing big, giant green rolling hills and rainbows and clouds. Happiness everywhere all around in this moment. Breathing in happiness and breathe out abundance. With every inhale, you just keep breathing in love and happiness and exhaling any stress or any tension or anything that you feel like you need to let go in this moment. And remembering throughout your day that you can always come to your breath again and find equanimity and release tension. Notice the rhythm of your inhale and exhale as you come to just a natural state of breath. Nothing forced. Maybe there's a count. There's a drum beat. You feel a sense of warmth and calmness in the centered space of your own rhythm. And bringing yourself into the state of the heart breath, breathing in and out of your heart. Feel your heartbeat as a drum. And allowing yourselves to be in a space of observation now, coming into the observer, observing your body, observing your breath, your heartbeat. No longer involved in the thinking and the emotions, just in the breath. Just observing any emotions or any thoughts, letting them be there. It's like wind blowing through a tree. And allowing yourself to witness all the parts of you, including your breath and your body, without judgment, without attachment, with acceptance. Now, as we are in this beautiful, beautiful, relaxed space of acceptance and love and breath, let's invite one of our subpersonalities to come forward. Just one. Say, hey, welcome. And see if this subpersonality feels familiar to you, such as the inner critic or the perfectionist or people pleaser or any of like just the one that's the most familiar to you, who we are inviting into this space with us now. And imagine this subpersonality gently entering into your space, like sitting next to you. Approaching the subpersonality with the same softness and presence as you would any part of yourself. And you sense this energy and its form, or even any emotional connection with the subpersonality. Allow yourself to connect with this energy.
Now visualize this subpersonality entering your heart space. Imagine it surrounded by a warm, glowing light. This light is your unconditional love. And as it enters, sends waves of love, welcoming it without judgment. Allow the subpersonality to feel safe, embraced, and accepted in your heart. And you can even say to it, I welcome you into my heart with love. You are a part of me. And I honor your role in my life. I send you love and light. And I ask you to feel safe here in my heart, knowing you are not alone. Now allow this light to fill both your heart and the subpersonality, dissolving any fear, shame, or resistance you may carry. And as the light expands, feel a sense of peace between the two. Now communicate with your subperson. Let it know when it was created and at what age. And you can gently say, I understand that you were created during and at the edge of. And it's okay if you don't know this information either. Just follow your intuition. Whatever shows up for you, it's perfect. I recognize that you formed as a way to protect me. And you can repeat after. To help me navigate the world in the best way that you knew how at the time. I see you and I honor your role in helping me navigate that period. And acknowledge the purpose of the subpersonality, affirming that it was born out of love, even though it might have felt disconnected from your current needs. Now you can also say, but I see now that you are stuck in a time warp. Carrying an old belief or way of being that no longer serves me. It's time to bring you into the present moment, where you can evolve and grow with me. Now take a moment to feel the subpersonality's response. Do you sense any shift or understanding? And trust whatever comes up.
Now you can take a moment and explain to this subpersonality that it shares the same soul as you, and its highest purpose is aligned with yours, to live a meaningful life fulfilled with love and growth. Let it know that it's allowed to evolve and there's a space for both of you to grow together. And you might say, you and I are one. We share the same soul and purpose. To live a full life of love, growth, and meaning. You're not separate from my essence. You have the same right as I do to evolve, to expand, and to experience fulfillment. It is safe for you to evolve and transform, as I too am evolving. Now we can ask the subpersonality, do you understand this? Do you feel the light of possibility for your own transformation? Allow yourself some space to receive the answer.
Next, you can guide the subpersonality's energy towards the heart. Explain that there is a light bridge connecting both your hearts, and that will allow the subpersonality to move into its higher state. Just connect with the bridge between your heart and the heart of your subpersonality. Visualize it. Feel that connection. And you can tell your subpersonality, there is a bridge of light between our hearts. This light can help you connect with your own highest potential. As I breathe deeply, this light will flow from my heart into yours and help you to become the highest version of yourself. So continue visualizing this light bridge clearly, using your imagination, and imagine it as a glowing golden beam of light connecting the center of your heart to the subpersonality's heart. Picture this light as vibrant, loving energy, pure and supportive. And as you breathe in, imagine the light flowing from your heart to the subpersonality's heart. The light is warm, healing, and full of love. It's a light that helps the subpersonality to step into its highest potential. And as you focus on this light bridge, ask your subpersonality, can you see this light? Can you feel its warmth? Light is here to support you. It's the light of love, healing, and transformation. Do you want to step into this light? Now, wait for a response.
When this subpersonality is ready, invite it to enter your heart. Where it can discover its transpersonal potential and evolve into the best version of itself. And you can ask the sub, now, would you like to enter my heart to discover the transpersonal potential that lies within you? You can evolve into your highest self, your joyful inner child, your empowered teenager, or any version of yourself that feels complete and whole. Visualize the light flowing from your heart to the subpersonality's heart and back again, creating a triangle of light. This light flows freely and effortlessly back and forth.
As the light continues to flow, focus on the exchange of energy between you both. Feel the sacred flow of love between your souls. Allow this light to illuminate your being, inviting transformation at every level. You can now say to your sub, this light will allow us to share in the energy of the best version of ourselves. We will both grow and evolve together, empowered by the energy we now share. Allow yourself to feel the warmth of this exchange as it moves through your body, your heart, and your soul.
Now we're coming into the final stage of this meditation as the light flows and you both integrate this transformative energy. Gently bring your awareness back to the present moment. Feel your body grounded and connected to the earth beneath you. Feel the ground beneath you, the energy of your body. We're more aligned and whole than before. On the next inhale, bring your awareness back to the room, grounding yourself in the present moment. Feel the light you just shared with you, continuing to work even after this meditation ends. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back into the space. Giving thanks to your subpersonality for its willingness to show up and transform with you. Say thank you for stepping into the light with me. We are now one, moving forward in love, alignment, and empowerment.
Beautiful. How was that meditation for you all? So I recorded it separately. I'm going to put it together. Music. You can do that with as many subpersonalities as you feel called to.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Any comments? Anybody wants to share their experience? If there's anything that was profound for you? Feeling good? Like Eric went really deep.
Brother Eric, time to wake up.
Nice.
You know, as we do this work with subpersonalities, some and we'll get to your questions or your share in a second, Masha. In some teachings, they would say that there's like knots or like sticky parts of ourselves. Like in one of the teachings we've referenced in some of our other classes we do is called the 11 karmic spaces. And in the 11 karmic spaces, karma and subpersonalities are kind of saying the same thing. It's like there's different parts of, so like if there's an attachment or like Velcro, talks about like these subpersonalities could be looked at as Velcro. And when there's Velcro in these different parts of self, like I got Velcro in my heart, there's this like hurt part of my heart, or I've got Velcro in my solar plexus where I feel like I've given my power away, or, you know, these different things. It actually creates a space for outside influences to actually stick to this Velcro. And as we do this work and bring into like this beautiful meditation, what came up for me is like bringing into, it's almost like the Velcro is removed and then something can move or shift in the environment and it doesn't necessarily stick. you know, it's like that little congestion, compression, I almost said, gets like, you know, softened, and it allows things, it allows that energy to move and that knot to be kind of undone, so that things can move through. So that which may have triggered before and sent us, we, the part of ourselves, into a space of reaction or fear or survival, it becomes a little more open and loose, and so we can navigate those parts of ourselves in an easier way.
Yeah. And I'd love to read what, right before Masha, we give you an opportunity to speak, what Asajoli says about subpersonalities. He says that subpersonalities can be considered as reflections of both the self and the soul. They have the same qualities as the personality, but in order for them to reflect the soul, reflect those higher qualities, they must discover their own light, right? So that's what this process allows, right? So that they can receive the light, they can, you know, understand that they, with your support, because they're part of you, they can actually grow, they can evolve, and they can receive and actually radiate now qualities from the self, capital S, self.
Yeah. So again, it's like some further integration of the sub. It's like this sort of next step is welcoming in the transformational aspect. Like, not only are we, the I, the current physical present I, transforming, but there's these parts of ourselves that have the capacity to do so as well. Masha, would you like to share? You had your hand up there a moment. I really wanted to also say thank you, Masha, for your, you know, just your prayer hands and like really the smile. I was really seeing you like following through. It was amazing. So we're happy to hear you share.
Yeah, I have discovered, I mean, I knew about it, about my subpersonality. Oh, I'll get back to them later, or I'll get back to you later. I'm right now in my deep work. Don't distract me. And it's very interesting because my other subpersonality, which is the one that now I don't call her teacher, I actually call him as a strict coach, that slides. They're the opposites. The strict coach actually don't have boundaries of how much I should be in the deep work, where this lady is just, no, you got to put boundaries. Don't right now, it's not the time, you're right now working, don't go distracted with the messages. And so I can set boundaries. So first of all, that's what I'm discovering. I can set boundaries, but in one area of my life, I set boundaries, another area I don't set boundaries. And another one area it hurts, another area, I mean, so it's very interesting. And I actually, I remember 10 years ago where that reply later, I'll get back to you later. And I did not, it comes from 10 years ago when I was working more like as a club promoter. And there was a lot of messaging, these girls to come and everything. And then I was like, stopped responding to them. And in a way, I kind of I developed it, I think, at that time, because I mean, those were not very meaningful relationships. And I don't want to say anything, but they were just where right now it transitioned to very meaningful relationships. And that was 10 years ago. And it's like, whoa, I remember that time when I first recognized that I didn't want to just follow, because I'm like, I didn't want to have those kind of thoughtless, like kind of idea-less conversations. It's like those, clubbing and those people. I mean, and I'm sorry, I'm still in discovery, but I just wanted to share that it's been affecting me, and it's affects why I don't go and chat and I'm reading all your messages, and how it's beautiful to see how you are actually supporting all each other. And I felt like, obviously, oh my God, I have not, there's also, of course, the blame coming, I'm not responding, I'm not getting back, I'm not. And I feel that's then where the overcomplicating sub comes in. And I'm like, then I'm overcomplicating. There's nothing else, just like sit down, like put a time block on your schedule, 30 minutes here, 30 minutes here, 30 minutes here, and just get back, because I do love people. I do love communicating with people. But there's a sub that, oh my God, it's right now distraction. You need to do that deep work. So I feel like, again, it's all like the subs are like conflicting with each other. And right now, actually, I feel a little bit overwhelmed after I shared, for sure.
All good, all good. Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is being gentle, because we can start to become this like looking for all the subs all the time, and who's doing what and why and who and which one. It's this teacher and she, and they're all calling for love in one shape or fashion. So and really can only really talk to one at a time and bring that integration aspect of things. So like you can choose one. There's no reason we can put the other one, hold on for a moment. And that's where, journaling about these things and the mind map of subpersonalities is such a beautiful tool, because we can write these things down and then, just being aware of them. And then we have the tool to be able to, what do you need? How have you been serving me? One at a time as you have the time, because, you know, Brother Nelson is aware of this, but there's a friend of ours that talks about another aspect, which is really around with subpersonalities, but he brings it into this sales aspect. But imagine there's a line, right? My arm is a line, and when I'm pulled into a subpersonality or some kind of a fear, or I'm not quite where I want to be, I'm below the line. And so if I need to be performing as a coach, as a AI quantum badass Masha Nova, as a dad, as a husband, as a worker person, as a guide, as any of these things, but I'm coming from below the line. There's an exercise not only integrating the subpersonality. Let's see how long I could hold my arm there. That was fun. Not only is a subpersonality work, but also like the time blocking and the things like that, like really getting connected to commitment and alignment and these different things. And this is a whole different subject, but just as another, like the time blocking and the not overcomplicating and the boundaries and all this thing would come from clarity and commitment, but it's challenging to come from that when we're below the line, because committed to what? Like all these subs are informing one another. There's like a depressed, not to say clinical depression, but if I'm below and then I'm above, this down here is depressed and this is something other than depressed, excited. I don't know what it would be like, but uplifted. So in these places of doing the deeper work, it's like a time to be like, all right, asking like, what am I working on? And is this really what I want to be working on? Is this really in alignment with myself? And am I really committed? Because if I did, all the circumstances and things would just, the time blocking and all the things would happen. But there's also a time in a season, especially for the feminine, to honor those deeper times when the emotion, and we have feminine within us also, gentlemen, but like when the moon times, to honoring those cycles and flows. We don't always have to be up above the line and create, because it's like, no, I just need some time right now, and being able to navigate, and not be like, oh, there's a subpersonality that says it needs time. Not necessarily. It's just like, no, I just need some time right now. And then back up above the line and that kind of thing. So the reason I bring that up is that if there is an opportunity, if there's a sub that's tickled awake and we're supposed to be going and doing this thing out in the world, wouldn't we agree that like it's the perspective of our operating system has changed based on where we're operating from, you know? It's like the like, oh, I just boundaries and time blocking, how easy. But when there's a certain aspect of us running, it may not be so clear, because that aspect of self doesn't even know what time blocking is until we integrate it and inform it. Hey, I can give you what you need. I have the tools, and you'll have your time. But right now, I've got to, do this thing. It's almost like we're talking to this little child part of ourselves.
Yep. Yep. Have you been able to process your personalities?
Yes, but I haven't, not that one. That one I just really like.
That one just came up.
opened up.
No. Okay.
Yes, yes. and it's beautiful. But I saw how we're walking together with her, and just in that feminine, like I saw actually like you, Claudia, like that when you opened up to me the power of feminine, that just like in that, you know, not that, oh, go, 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 right? That feminine power. I just kind of imagine your energy there. Just
Beautiful. Okay. Yep. Gentleness, as Adam mentioned, and yeah, an opportunity. As he said, there's a lot of different layers, right? That even like for me, I have forgotten about one. So there's some of them that are getting tickled awake right now, and definitely the being able to block the time supports. I know for many of you that has been a big support to do, you know, to just block the time to do this work through them, because as you are able to work through them, they will be taking less of your energy and less of your attention, right? And created overwhelm and kind of havoc in your psyche. So yeah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing all that. And yeah, whenever we open up for that coaching, we'll see who's ready, and you know, maybe we'll work a little bit with you on that and see what, you know, what can come up for you to find some clarity, right? So that you're not operating with that overwhelm, because it's a lot, right? When you have work, you have many different things. Like I know I've dealt with that, but I've definitely come to a place of more stillness, which has been beautiful, and more clarity. So holding that space, holding that space for you as well.
thank you, goddess.
It's been a common word used, and this is not new. Like even when we went through our accreditation, transpersonal accreditation for coaching, where overwhelm gets brought into the space. And you got to remember that we're working with psychological functions. We're working with parts of self that have been in this, like, let's look at this as an operating system. This operating system in my hand as an iPhone has so many processes that are running that all I see is this front-facing screen. I open it up and I'm like, oh, there's my apps. But behind the scenes, it's like bzzz, it's sending information all all of a sudden notifications are coming in. There's all that stuff that I don't even. It's like below the surface, and now it's like, oh shit! I just shined a flashlight on all these operating parts of self. Wouldn't that be overwhelming to most like, holy shit! I don't even know how do these people program this thing. I mean, these guys at Apple are like Silicon Valley. Oh my. We are operating systems, and we can be an iPhone called Masha, called Mike, called Lisa Renee, and there's all these systems and functions going on, you know, and we're going to get into more of those in the next module, some different psychological functions. But like we've removed this floor. Now it's a glass floor that we can look down into the subpersonality, or into the lower unconscious. If you remember the egg diagram, superconscious, present, here and now, we're having this conversation, and lower unconscious. Now it's like, shit, I'm aware of my lower unconscious. All these subpersonalities are hanging out down there. And now it's like, whoa, I can just look down there and see them all the time. And it's this new ability, new awareness, and it's a whole different part of operating in the world. And that's where it's like, I can even feel the compression or constriction when I do, oh my God. And then there's also the superconscious, this beautiful space of everything and all connected, and just love and compassion and Christ consciousness and all the things of eternal possibility of transformation and healing and all the things concurrently at the same time. So it's like really being gentle with that. Okay, coming to the place of I am that I am, and then bringing up the parts of ourselves into that space one at a time and doing the work. Because otherwise it's like, holy shit, it's like drinking from a fire hose, overwhelm. Yeah, restriction. So that's, you know, as we're doing this work, like this is something that I think every single person that we've connected with is overwhelm. Not only for the information that we're covering on the classes each day, but also what's opening up on an energetic, you know.
And I love that. for, those of you who haven't scheduled with us yet, and it would be great. It helps, especially if you're feeling a little overwhelmed or a little stuck. Yeah, make sure to schedule with us. A lot of you guys already, I'm just looking at the appointments right now. So a lot of you have already scheduled, but there's some of you that haven't, and I think it could really support you, if you're feeling a little stuck or overwhelmed.
Yep. And thank you, Caitlin, for bouncing like Friday's call around. I was watching the communication with Claudia. I'm like, thank God you both are handling that. I was in another thing.
It was very supportive for those who joined.
Yes, Miss Cooper.
To use a visual that came to mind, I'm not in it experientially right now, but perhaps the visual may support in the overwhelmed word, is it can be like walking into a maze or labyrinth of all mirrors. And if we go too fast, we see all these mirrors and we see all these different people or subpersonalities within, reflecting back at us. Yet if we take a breath and ground and walk purposefully, better than the word slowly, you can see one at a time, like walking into a party and wanting to greet everybody individually simultaneously doesn't quite work as well as if we go one by one. I hope that plants a visual.
Yeah, it does. Very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. I just got more confused, but that's just me.
What?
Does John have he's scheduled? Is it the portal? The link for the scheduling the calls in the portal?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do I do that? Yeah, is it in the portal? No, I think I shared a link, but I'll repaste that link in the group. Mm-hmm. It might be in the announcements, but I have to double check.
Yeah, should be in the announcements so it doesn't get lost in the conversation.
Yep, and I'll make sure to do that.
All right, are we ready to do some stuff?
Yes, we are ready.
I'm ready to have some fun.
Yes.
This is like deep meditations. I feel like we've lost some people. People are dropping off over here. What's going on?
Yeah, so we're gonna raise the energy, bring some energy. Oh, Sean's coming in. Perfect timing.
Got him.
Awesome. So we are going to play a game. That's actually the surprise we had for last week.
Who likes games?
Yes, who likes games? Yay.
Not those kind of games. Whoever was thinking about those.
So let me share my screen.
I need to get one of those macrames like you've got, Caitlin. That thing is sweet. Let's go on like search for boho macrame or something.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Ooh. We're gonna play Guess My Subpersonality game. So whoever wants to play, we invite everyone to play. Each participant will choose one of their main subpersonalities, whichever one you like to play with, and then you get to act it out. We're going to spotlight you, and you get to act out your subpersonality. Without
telling us what it is.
Yes, and then, you made a good point. Like some of them may be a little obvious, so try not to make it so obvious. So it takes a little bit to guess. And then, and then the rest, we can either speak it out or we can write it in the chat, whoever starts to guess what that subpersonality is. Because Nova was already tuning in. Of course you were.
All right. We can unshare this.
All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
So I'm gonna do an example, right? So you guys can get, this is really like, we're like, how can we, like, what kind of integration can we have here? This gets to be fun.
We
and
gotta
like,
bring fun.
experiential. Who here is a didactic learner? Do not raise your fucking hand because none of us are. We like to learn experientially. I don't know one. Everybody's like, oh, didactic. I'm like, I don't know. There's very few people I know that can read a book around. Well, it can read. Can you read a book about riding a bike and then go ride a bike?
Okay.
No, you can. So you learn by experience. Yeah, I can take it on. Don't take me on. I'm gonna. And at the same time, it is a subpersonality. And I don't read fucking directions either. If there's screws, you use the screws. Don't have any. There's usually one left over, right, gentlemen? When you build something, they give you an extra screw. At least that's my experience. until things fall apart and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot that screw. And
Yeah,
then
there's -1 left over,
there's
actually.
-1 left.
Directions are to know what to do with the parts you have left after you're done building. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna start playing the game right now and be like, no, it's not.
Yeah. Eric left us. What happened? I just saw that.
I'm playing the game right now.
Oh,
Would
you
you be
are?
quiet over there? Jeez. Look at this freaking cat. Tail, trying to be all cat-like. I have shit to do. Are we done yet? Like, seriously, can we be off this call? I'm playing the game, Masha.
Is that the asshole subpersonality? Which one's that?
No, it's the critic. It's the critic.
I was having some flashbacks of his childhood there for a minute.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
probably how you were being with me. You know, but you see how the inner critic actually becomes a projection onto other people. So it's not necessarily like moping around or whatever. Most of the time, subpersonalities, if I'm the critic or I'm being, you know, I'm in the controller one, you know, it's the people around that are actually getting the influence. So that's how I was playing it in a very aloof way. I wasn't like, oh, like, you know, trying to do Pictionary or something like that. But it's to everybody, anybody, any way you want to do it. It's a place of creativity and fun. And then what we can do as each one of you, whoever wants to go, raise your hand and don't tell us what the subpersonality is, but actually stick with one. Don't try to confuse us and be the overwhelmed one that's like, I'm going to do this one and that one and the other one. And Masha, you might not want to pick the strict coach because we're going to get that right away. Just like one that's a little more, or in a way that like is very subtle. But you see, what I did is I acted it towards what was going on in the situation. I even picked on Caitlin's kitty cat, which I love kitty cats. I would never actually do that, but there's a place to do that. And then we can any one of you can type in the chat. And when you see it typed in the chat, you know, you can just keep going for a little bit, have fun with it. It doesn't mean just stop. Oh, they got it. Let's stop. And let's pick one that is one you really want to work on. And I know Fraser shared in the chat during the meditation of something. There's something to work on. And what's going to happen is we actually get to experientially act this part out and then say, oh, wow, that's what that actually looks like in my life when I shine the light on that thing versus it being in the shadow a little.
Yep. The idea is to bring humor and fun, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
really give it your all.
We lost
Allow
Mike
yourself.
Brackman. Mike doesn't like games. Thank you, everyone. I'm heading back to work. See you next
He
time.
is
Oh,
peacing
man.
out. Yep. It's a sub at play right there. Or just a little work.
Or work.
Or
yeah.
work. All right. Who's feeling brave? Who's feeling brave? John, you're getting voted in.
Yeah, I saw that. Wow, what's that about? I'm actually just trying to come up with which subpersonality I want to highlight. That's the hardest. Okay, I've got one then.
Okay, awesome.
Let me see how this goes. I'm really, the reason I changed my backgrounds on my thing is because I don't like them. I'm really tired of them. I have, oh boy, look at this thing here. It's broken. I need to, no, maybe it's not broken. Oh, let me break it. Oh, now it's broken. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we have the fixer, overthinking, and unfocused.
Yeah. The unfocused is pretty close. It's the one who's the constant distraction. That's, I think,
The distracted.
yeah, Tesno got it pretty close there. That one for me is, he's ever present all the time, all the time.
What would you
So,
name? What would you
Yeah.
name him?
I have some questions here now. that you can
Sure.
go through.
What's his name? Probably, I would call him Mr. Anything But. Because whatever's important right in front of me, I'm going to do everything but just whatever's not there. He's kind of a procrastinator. But at the same time, how does it show up in your life? Normally when I'm stressed, like if I have something that has to be done and it really starts to stress me out, then I lose focus. I'm not able to track my focus or get it closer to where it needs to be. So there's that. What does this subpersonality want and need? Well, I think he needs validation, needs affirmation, probably, and probably also needs a little bit of grace, because he shows up as in those times of stress when I don't know, I'm dealing with something emotional that I'm not very good at dealing with, which is kind of everything sometimes. What does he offer? I think the benefit of him is that when I'm distracted by all of these different things, I learn about a lot of different things, or I become more knowledgeable about stuff, which then I use as a subpersonality in itself, probably to avoid other stuff. Under what circumstances does this subpersonality emerge? Yeah, mostly times of stress, emotional distress, predominantly. Yeah, that's probably the biggest. Although he tends to show up too kind of when I'm tired or exhausted after a long day of doing stuff or whatever. How could he act more harmoniously in my life? I could be kinder to him, because I kind of beat myself up about it whenever I do it. He could be a signal to me to be more present. So that subpersonality, when he shows up, could be a signal for me to say, wait a second, here he is. Now this means I should probably focus over here on the thing I need to be focused on. So kind of a, what would you call it? Kind of like a signalman who signals, hey, over here, you're doing this. Now here, look over here. So yeah, he's a lot, but he's part of me. So I have to integrate him to the positive direction. So I'm glad I went first.
Nice.
Beautiful. Great job.
Yeah, great. And like what we were saying earlier, like that subpersonality is not only, what I heard you share was not only the signal, it might be the front facing signal. And, you know, as far as like, okay, we're getting ready to go, we got some stress coming, and now there's this part, and then it starts to pull down, and these other parts of stuff go below that line that I was mentioning earlier. And then it's like everything becomes a sub of a sub of a sub. And like, boop, oh shit, where was I for the last week? You know? So yeah, being able to pay attention to the subtlety, it's almost like there's that signal that there's some stress coming before we give into it and go start swimming in the subsea. Nice, that was great.
That was amazing. Big round of applause.
Good job,
for
John.
Great job.
I thought it was the fixer for a moment, but you know, I like that.
Yeah, that was awesome. You did.
It actually
really
lands
good.
for me, I find, you know, but John, when you actually get to the point of coming back out of that and then focus up on what you want to do, how does that feel?
Lately a lot better. Before it was almost like the focusing was a distraction from being distracted. And so there wasn't a whole lot of homogeneous congruity there, if you can see what I'm saying.
Right.
Lately, though, since we've started doing this class and the homework, especially with the subpersonalities and disidentification and all the things, I've been able to see that the distraction is the distraction and the focus is more pronounced. It's more valuable than it always was before. And so there's a deeper and more profound understanding of it. So
Mm,
I appreciate that.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you.
yeah.
All right, Sean.
Sean wants to go.
She's ready to go. All right, I'm gonna pin you so we can see you fully. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Oh no, wait,
So,
actually, I need to spotlight. Sorry.
Spotlight.
Yeah, the pinning doesn't support. Okay, there we go. Oops. I put the spotlight on us.
Don't spotlight us.
I know.
One
All
of my
right,
subs
there we
is
go.
here today. I don't want to be seen.
Okay.
all right, there we go. Nice. All right, so okay. All right, so I was driving home and I took a wrong turn. What kind of a jackass am I? Was cleaning the dishes and I dropped a glass and broke it. What the hell's my problem?
Mm,
I had to hit snooze twice today. What are you, a lazy ass?
Hmm.
Yep, this self-critic. That pretty much
self-critic.
nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Self-critic. Is that one of your main?
Yeah, it's one that I've been trying to work on for a long time. Just and it goes way back to forever.
Mm-hmm.
Just anything that goes wrong, it's obviously my fault. I was talking to somebody and was it this weekend, last week? I was talking to somebody at some point, and I said, that like a year ago, 6 months ago, I might have like blamed myself for the wildfires in LA somehow. It was
right.
uh, it,
Yeah.
it it's been there for a long time. So trying to and my daughter was like is big on grace. So we've been talking a lot about grace and trying to
Mm,
give myself some of that is uh, harder than giving it to other people for
mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, it shows up typically when it's more of a stacking thing. Like something might go wrong, and then something else might go wrong
Mm-hmm.
or not happen like the way I planned it, like the wrong turn or breaking something and it seems like once the stacking happens, that's when this sort of emerges.
Yeah.
It's not always right away, but it's a compounding effect.
Mm-hmm.
And and I guess that the what it needs to do is feel like it's that subpersonality. I think needs what it needs is to feel like it's okay. It's really not the end of the world. It's really not all my fault or all its fault.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it so it needs some love in those instances. I think what it it has to offer is when it comes out, usually things happen where I get distracted and it's I miss a turn or I go to the store for one thing, I come home with 20 things except for the one thing that I went for.
Get out of my
So,
head, Sean.
so I think it what it has to offer is a reminder to take a breath, remember it'll be okay, but also refocus because
Mhm.
there's there's been some lack of focus that caused me to just like drop a glass out of my hand while I was walking through the kitchen or
Mhm.
or forgetting to take the turn that I've taken 10,000 times.
Mhm.
Um, so and and I think that it can integrate well in with the other sub personalities in my life in whole if I can recognize it and not let it spin and get
Mhm.
out of control and
Right.
start to have the negative self thoughts that then spin up other negative self thoughts. And it's like I just keep hitting the top and it just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very powerful awareness. Stop sharing.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So I've actually dealt with that part of myself quite a bit, and I noticed that as you were sharing, you went from you said something that brought up, like, the first step is really the disidentification with it, not like I am this or I have this, right? It's like it's a part of. And then also the next time that the thought automatically comes in, let's say missing the turn, you know, there's also like the controller and the critic like to hang out together. They almost are best friends, you know, and then the perfectionist, like that trinity right there is all too known for so many people that we've done this work with, including self, right? And you know, it can come from any number of places, right? There's some deeper work to go into that place and find that grace for that little part of ourselves of, you know, that was told something different than what, you know, who we are perfectly. But the next time that that a thought comes up around missing a turn, for instance, like we create it as an opportunity, like to turn it from criticism into opportunity. You know what I mean by that? Like, wow,
Yeah.
I missed my turn. I must be meant to go this way. There must be something beautiful for me to see over here. You know what I mean? So it's like to really be like, there's that surrender into there's a reason. And then also at the same time, it is a beautiful teacher. Be like, whoa, where was I? Was the daydreamer here with me? Or was the stressful one here with me that had my attention not be there to drop the glass? Because that's what I heard you to say also, or miss the turn or whatever. Like, where's that presence? So it's actually a beautiful kind of like what John was sharing. Like it's a symbol of like, okay, there's something here that, you know, life is just going by and I'm just in my head or something, right? And thinking about some other or other thing that's not present in life right now, the past, the future, anxiety, depression, whatever. Boom, this thing happens, critic comes in, it's like, oh, okay, this is a moment to just take a moment to get present. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the soul work from last class, the tracking the choice point, right? Being able to like figure out how you can anchor in presence, perhaps for you, right? And devise certain strategies, right, that you can put in place to anchor in when, right, you either are stressed, so you can kind of start to tune in with that, so that you have something that you can do in that moment, right? When you find when something happens, right? It's like, okay, I have my practice, whatever it is, breathing,
Right.
or maybe even bringing humor to it, right? Just kind of like reframing it and like, you know, so something funny, or try to bring some lightness into that situation. So I'll be really curious to know what opens up for you for that one, and then how maybe even if you don't immediately figure out what to do, but at least the space before you go into that spiraling, as you mentioned, right, with the self-credit, and that starts stacking up. Like even just stopping it from stacking up, it's a huge win, especially when some of these subpersonality have been very, you know, rooted and into our personality for so long.
Yep.
So amazing work. Thank you.
And remembering that we can play with these parts of self just like this game at any moment.
Yeah. Awesome. Lisa, I love that you're going next.
Hate this. I just want you to know. Okay. I'm gonna go for a walk. It's gonna be great.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, let me eat these donuts now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then, I'm starting to look thinner. Oh, I like it. Okay, let me eat some more fucking donuts. Do you have it yet? Nobody's guessing anything.
sabotage?
Okay.
The comfortable one?
The sabotage? What is that?
You got it, Claudia. The sabotager.
The saboteur? How you say that?
Saboteur.
I said self-sabotage is what I wrote.
Nice.
By the way, an infomercial. Entman donuts are poison.
I know. I know.
Put 'em in
So
the
exactly
fire.
why
They won't
do I
even
do that to
burn.
myself? That's the self-sabotage, and then the critic of yeah.
Amazing. Let
It's
me share my screen. Great work.
incredibly vulnerable for me to show you that box
Yeah,
on the
Oh, that
screen.
was
but
awesome.
thank you.
Sorry, can you explain quickly what self like sabotage? I kind of have an idea if you don't mind.
It means that oh, I mean I was gonna say what it was for me.
Yeah.
So what it is for me is that I'm doing these good things for myself, like going to walk, and then doing these bad things for myself, labeled bad, that would basically counteract the effects of the good thing I did. So like I look at myself in the mirror like, oh, I'm looking good. So let me go eat a bunch of stuff that isn't good for me so that I'll stop looking good.
Yeah, that's powerful. Beautiful. Thank you. And welcome, Alines. I saw you come in. We were in.
So
Nice to see you here.
yeah, I don't know that we need to go through the shared screen every time, but
I mean, I think it helps.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you name that self-sabotaging part of yourself?
What the fuck? WTF? That's the first thing that flew out of my mouth. Yeah, I mean, I think I shared how it shows up. I think it wants and needs some presence also and attention of noticing like what I'm doing, which is happening in this moment and it's happened in other moments.
Mm-hmm.
And what does it have to offer is another opportunity for me to love myself and honor what created this part. Under what circumstances does it emerge is boredom, noticing that I'm not full and my mouth wants to taste something. And also noticing like, how long ago did I eat? Can I eat something again? And yeah. And how could it interact more harmoniously in my life? I would really like the self-control to always stop, like always not buy the thing. Like I know when I'm buying it that I shouldn't buy it, but yet there is a part of me that just does it anyway. And it's not as often as it used to be, when I quit sugar for a little while, like it got really bad then. And I just think that this is another opportunity to quit sugar again because it was really good for me for that month.
Yeah. Oh. And self-sabotage can show up in two different polarities. I actually read a book about this. The guy's like, wow, I just landed this amazing client. I'm going to go drink some sake at the sushi bar. Wow, I just lost my best client. I'm going to go drink some sake at the sushi bar. And it's like both of them are self-sabotaging, but one is done in a celebratory fashion and one is done in a self-deprecating fashion. Neither one of them are good for self. It's called cognitive dissonance. We know that the thing is bad for us, but we keep on doing it. And there's a part of self that like isn't being loved that would want to keep harming self. Like, why would we do things that are carcinogenic and cause, obesity is the #1 killer in the world. 500,000 people a day or a year or something like that, but it's a lot. You know what I mean? And Lisa, like, we're with you, same. Oh, we're going to the movies with the boys, so I'll just go ahead and get Twizzlers because we're at the movies. Like, but they're like red 40 and sugar. Like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean? So thank you for that because it opened up a lot for me personally. I'll just say thank you. Yeah. Like what it is to stay in integrity with our word to ourselves and be worthy of that. Because if I just say to you right now, like, we love you so much, but there's a part of yourself that's slowly you can't let it in. No matter how many times we say, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. There's a little part of self that's like, Yeah, whatever. You didn't know that I just ate a box of donuts. Can't let it in.
Yeah, thank you so much for your vulnerability. For
Yeah.
really, that's a deep part. I see myself in it. I've seen you too.
Oh yeah, no. You just fucking called me out right there, Lisa. Thank you. Good one.
It's like, okay, we're gonna do, and then all of a sudden coming in with French pastries and
Yeah. We had a retreat healing weekend, everybody, and I ordered like not one box, but 3 boxes of French pastries. And everybody's like, I feel so amazing. And then we started eating them and they were like, "Ugh." And I'm like, what did I do? Well, we just undid everything that we did this weekend.
Yeah. What I do is I go to yeah, that was so
Nova
good.
went home with like 3 boxes. I think. I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness, they were so good. What I've done is maybe turn to grapes. I turn to fruits, when you want that
Yeah.
something sweet,
Yeah.
just go fruits, and orange, something to like, because sometimes you do want something in your, in your mouth.
Your mouth
In your
hole.
mouth hole. So fruits, it supports.
Now, Lisa, a
Or
question for
bananas,
you
yeah.
before we move on to the next brave soldier. I have a
Pizza.
feeling it's going to be Caitlin. She's right in the middle of the screen. When you have in the past pushed through that automatic, what happens?
I feel good.
Mhm.
I feel good. I mean, quitting sugar and, still giving myself, I quit like the extra sugar. I still eat potatoes and pasta, and, stuff is like a balanced kind of meal. But I would give myself, I need to have a lot of bananas on hand at all time, and then I'm good. Because if I have frozen bananas, then I have my smoothie, and that takes care of everything, and I put no sugar in it.
Mhm.
So I know I can get that same like response, I guess,
Mhm.
of, making that part of myself satisfied
Yeah.
with bananas.
And just noticing too, like the universe, I think we covered this a little bit briefly. It might have been on the call that you weren't on. Doesn't understand yeses and nos. It doesn't understand positive and negative. It's when we say quit sugar, all we're hearing is sugar. So it's choose health, choose wellness. You know what I mean? Like speaking into in that positive way, as a like, just as a in my listening, because I'm saying this to myself at the same time. Because one of them is speaking like what I don't want, and the other one is speaking what I do want. And the don't want just says I want more of it. So yeah.
Yeah,
You. My vision board says, I move my body every day. I love to cook. I crave healthy foods and I love fruit. And so I really just want to be with that because all of those are positive, wonderful things.
Mhm.
And the only fruit I really love is bananas. So I want to love more fruits, and bring more diversity in. So it's just that reminder. Thank you. And I wrote choose wellness, really big in my diary.
Amazing.
Nice.
Love shower for you, Lisa.
Pew, pew,
Thank
pew.
you.
Thank you for your vulnerability.
Yes, that was amazing. Thank you.
All right. So let's really, somebody who feels like they can really go for it here. Roll us into this
I mean, everybody's hungry.
dramatic,
Or whatever
interplay.
is authentic for you. Let's not.
Masha's got her hand up. See, I knew somebody was going to take the bait. Go ahead, Masha. You saved Caitlin's ass.
'That was kind of weird. Okay, fine. Oh shit, there's fire. Wait, 1 second, 1 second, fire. Oh shit, it's burning right now. So exciting. Okay.
Workaholic? I don't know. What is it?
Yeah, workaholic. I mean, what I call it, should I just give it an extra their name? A passionate deep dive nerd.
Nice. Oh my goodness. All right, let me share. Let's learn about it.
What time is it right now, Masha? 2 a.m.? House is on fire, but I have something to do.
I don't know. Wait,
I have more work to do.
Yeah, so the name, as I said, I think is like deep dive, passionate nerd. That somebody wants to need. I mean, it wants to, I mean, it really actually enjoys this nerd moment. And I know it's also there's this coach that tells her, hey, you gotta make it perfect. You gotta like you gotta make it perfect. And there's no time constraint, there's no boundaries. I can just like go for hours and just doing it and overdoing it. And I also what I realize I'm also really enjoying it. I'm enjoying that deep being in that deep work. And then there's somebody under Claudia may text me and I'm like, no, it's not important. Because the fire, getting on fire is not gonna be important. The chat, the chat, no, I'm in a deep work.
Ain't
So
nobody got time for that.
yes. So what it wants and need, I don't know, like I mean it's like I mean it wants to complete it, but at the same time, like the completion is always like the closer I get to completion, I feel like it's moving away. And then there is like what they say, you can finish something at like 75%, and then whenever you're gonna try to get it like to one, like you never get to that 100%, right? There's no perfection. But then there's only this increment progression. But I'm like gonna be like 81, 81 and a half, and another 2 hours, 82. So what it does, I mean, again, I'm still like, what it does it want to need? It wants, I mean, I think, okay, so it also wants, of course, to look good, to show up good, like to whenever I finish this project. Hey, what's up? Look at how this 100 pages of this business plan that I wrote. Like, I mean, this is one of the examples from my life. We almost lost a deal, but I wrote 100 pages of business plan. It's so it wants that perfection for sure. So there's this perfectionist showing up there. And what does it have to offer? I mean, there's a lot of beautiful things came out of it. Like I learned so much of it. There's like some beyond type of work I created, but there's things I missed. There's people that I didn't get back to. There's people that I did not stay in communication, didn't follow up, didn't get that client, didn't close that deal because I wasn't that deep just for only that one thing. But it was yes. So under what circumstances does this subpersonality emerge? I mean, honestly, this is what one realization is. It comes every time I have a task or project. Like I actually work in support, I'm like, oh my God, I'm almost approaching everything like a lot. There's some things that just can be done, just been done. I'm like, don't spend 3 hours on this. So it's like really daily on any like if it's like serious project, that's like, but if it's like even some small task. And how does subpersonality interact more harmoniously in your life? It's what I realized, like what I started doing yesterday, is I put it, start like really time tracking myself also and realize, God, like I had plans to do these 10 things. I ended up doing these 3 things just because one took 4 or 5 hours to do. So how to do it is like really just like be aware of time and be aware of the impact. Is that's gonna like shift my life, or there's other things that I need to do and give back to other people that's gonna shift my life. So it's being more aware of what I'm doing, and yes, have my deep dive work. Don't remove it, because that's where a lot of beauty comes in, but be selective. Set
Yeah.
boundaries.
Yeah, set boundaries. You said it. You nailed it right there. Setting the boundaries for that, that deep work. So that, and then, setting boundaries and then allowing, maybe blocking other as time blocks as well, so that you don't feel so disconnected.
Yeah.
So, question for you: is perfection possible?
No.
So you're saying that what it wants is perfection, but it's not possible?
Yeah, it's asking for basically impossible. And that's why every time I'm like, this is really like, feel like I'm coming to the finish line and it goes further away. And I'm coming to it, it's still like, the more I come to it, this is how I feel. Yeah.
Yeah. And do
And
you find that you spend what percentage of your day being the deep dive nerd?
that's what I'm started like. That's what I'm gonna start doing. I mean, that's what I'm start really time tracking like
No,
myself.
but I'm asking you, like,
Oh,
do you, because you must be, it must be serving you.
it does for 100%.
Yeah. So what does it really need?
And if you can, and if it's easier, sometimes you can close your eyes and connect with that. It might be easier to
Yeah.
access that information.
Yeah.
I
What does
mean,
it really need?
I feel like what I said earlier, I think it wants to, I mean, what they said, to look good, right? To show up the best, like to show the best, like show,
And
oh
then what?
wow, like,
And then what?
and then succeed. I don't know,
And then,
like go climb higher, become more successful, connect with more people, bring more value, obviously, bring more value.
and
Yes.
then,
And then I'm gonna live a amazing life with other like who are bring the value, and we all having amazing life and amazing
Mhm.
life and fun and
Mhm.
joy.
hmm So is it like creating abundance? Is it creating freedom? Like, what are you doing that hard work, that deep work for? What is your big why?
I mean, I actually done this little thing I wrote, not little thing, but the choice. I was like, they recognize authenticity in myself by living a life full of joy with people who live a life full of joy.
hmm
Simple as that.
So that's what it wants, right? Living a
Yes,
life full of joy. Is that joyful for you? The deep dive nerd?
it is.
Okay.
But it hurts other part. I mean,
Mm.
like not getting back to people because I'm in deep dive mode, for example, or tackling more people, tackling more tackling other projects and tasks
Right. So
instead
then
of
would you say that you want the joy in all the domains, like connection and with friends and other places too? So it's really like balance? Is that what I'm hearing? Balance?
yeah. I mean, in a way, yes, yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. Yes, having a fulfilled life and having fulfilled life in all different subdomains of life, right?
Right, right, right.
I'm gonna say balance, but like yes, be happy, health, wealth, friends, family, career, money, travel,
hmm hmm
some spiritual work.
hmm Yeah, because a lot of time people can be striving like that and they're looking for financial abundance, right? Like if I get this project, and then it's like, okay, now I have financial abundance, but now I need to be, now I want to make an impact. And then it's like, okay, now I want to make a legacy. Okay, now I want to take care of myself. And it's like, no matter what, the same sub keeps showing up in every one of the domains. All in. Oh shit, I forgot about my business. All in. Oh shit, I forgot to eat. All in. Oh shit, I forgot to reach out to my friends. So like that's
Mm.
where that sub starts to pull into, we can call it nerd mode, but it shows up like packing, it shows up with travel, it shows up with, all the things, it shows up with spiritual work. It's like, oh, I'm all in,
Yeah,
let's do it.
I know. I need like, oh, I need to sit down 3 hours and do all this, and then I'm gonna come back to you guys and chat, send you in the chat a bunch of messages. I'm gonna respond to all of you, and I'm gonna be like, so my like this is like literally. And I was like, today, you know what? I'm just gonna do like just chat, the send a message there.
hmm So like you're saying the boundaries and balance. So it's like really having that flow where we're checking in and being present with, because like when we're in these subpersonalities, presence is out the window. You know what I mean? Not necessarily we're present to the sub
Oh.
and what needs to be done, but like what about all the other
Mm-hmm.
aspects of life, right?
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think you nailed it right there when you said, what is the authenticity for you to live a joyful life, right? So
But
with
yeah,
your
but I wish I was like not all the time like nerding out. I wish I was, I mean, there's so much, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that. I would kind of maximize that and really be able to like zoom in on what you really want, because it seems like it wants you want to dive, do the deep dive nerding 3 hour process. But what it really wants is to live a joyful life with others. What
That's
do you
why,
think?
yeah, that's why I kept saying and then, because those are all just you know, pieces,
The
but like,
why, the
what's
why,
the,
uh-huh.
yeah, and
Yes.
you saw it. I'm like, okay, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll play with you.
Yeah, so maybe working with AI to bring that vision to life with like people and just having a visual that that can serve you as a reminder of what you really want, right? So that when you are, so it helps you to be able to put the boundaries,
Yeah.
right? Because I also love deep work, right? But it's like, but it's in the balance that we really are able to,
Right.
have everything we want.
And we can deploy the super nerd and be like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, team, I got the super nerd ready. I'm going to deploy it into this project, but I'm not being the super nerd as an identity. You see what I mean? Like it's a superpower. I mean, we've seen your presentations and how you show up, Masha. You know, it's like it's a superpower, but it's also can become an identity. And then when it becomes an identity, that's when we're like, okay, I'm much more than that. I have the super deep dive nerd, and apparently Sean does too, but I'm not the super deep dive nerd. You know what I mean? And so it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
And then there's the joy. Because identification with any particular aspect of self is very limited, and you know, our essential soul is like, wait a minute, you're so much more than that, and we can be a super nerd.
Exactly. And then the boundaries just keep coming up. So it's like setting a timer. I know you've worked on that, right? But instead of 3 hours, you know, just something that can still allow you and just play like, okay, I'm going to dedicate 1 hour and see what I can come up with and then stop, you know, after that. Shift it
I
to
literally
another.
started it yesterday, so I'm already a little bit open up eyes. So I just gotta make sure the consistency and and I want to be with people. That's the thing. I don't want to be in my cave here hiding in
Yep.
nerdy mode. I want to be around people. I want to be in yes, I want to be with people. Live a
Yeah.
joyful life. Who lives a joyful life? That's it.
There you go. That's it.
And if we start tracking, if all of a sudden I say, Masha, I need this project done, and you're like, okay, I'll do it for $3,000, and I'm like, cool, and then 600 hours later, you're like, holy shit, I did that for $20 an hour. So we have no idea, right? Like if we're like, oh, I want somebody to invest in my business. Well, how am I going to invest in your business? You know, you're only charging, like, you might as well have a virtual assistant doing this overseas, because you know you're so much bigger than this in the visionary space to be able to deploy and be like, okay, if I'm going to say, like Fraser, if Fraser was to price out a plumbing job that's going to take a day and he takes 3 days, he just lost his ass. He's out of business in a year. I gave him 6 months. He's out of business. Not that that's true, Fraser, but like it gives us a guide to hold ourselves accountable to what we're actually investing in and why. Here comes Fraser. You got a sub you're going to act out, Fraser?
Actually just really resonated with Masha so much, because when I go into work mode with plumbing, it's like there's blinders up and it's just like go, 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 go. Oh wait, it's fucking 9 o'clock at night. I've been going since 7 in the morning. Oh shit. Right? I forget, and I don't even take a lunch break. I totally agree on that. Like to me, it's like, oh yeah. I totally get it. I actually have been resourcing AI to come up with better pricing on jobs, and it's been working fantastically. It gives me my base price, like medium to average, my premium rates, like everything. It's so fantastic.
Pretty. Let's schedule a call the next week, not this week. Let's schedule a call. I want to see what.
Nice. There you go.
Nice.
You got
So
to talk about
Fraser and Masha and everyone who wants to play with this for a minute, right? Let's say we're all running a business right now. Everybody's running a business. We're all running a business, and we're going to hire whoever to do whatever. And we're going to say, okay, employee, who I pay $50 an hour to do this thing. I need you to go paint this house. You've got a week. 2 weeks later, they come and say, we're still not done. What do you do?
I'd ask them what they're doing, what's taking them so long, because I know I can paint a house in a week myself. I could probably do it in 4 days.
Okay.
Give a warning.
Anyone else?
Give a warning. Hey, this doesn't work.
Okay, I think I can do it in 2 more weeks, but I'm gonna need at least another 50 gallons of paint, and I need the really good paint.
What you need is a new job.
So fire yourselves from doing this work that's taking everything away from your life that you want to be doing that creates joy. Or get honest with yourselves and say, work creates joy. But if it doesn't create joy, then why are we doing it? And we would fire anybody else who did that for us because we couldn't afford them being around. So at the same time, if we have goals and visions and we want to be a homeowner and we want to do this thing and we want to have money in the bank and we want to travel the world, but we're stuck doing the deep work and focusing up on the fucking minutia. And this isn't subpersonality work. This is business coaching now. Why are we doing it to ourselves? Because it's not ultimately getting us where we want to be. And if that's not a sobering check-in, like, oh, okay, where do I want? I want joy and abundance and flow and friendship and joy in my life. And I want to leave a legacy. And I'm self-sabotaging by being in this part of myself because it's easy and I know it and it's comfortable and it keeps me safe. And I know that I'm good at it.
Yep, exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
And and it's about bringing that, doing the opposite, right? It's like maybe something we love to do so much, right? That we spend so much time on, that actually can bring us out of balance, right? Because we're not able to then do the other things that we need to do. And so it's that middle point for all of the things that we have in our life, even the ones we love the most.
Yeah.
Because even if you find joy and then you keep doing more of that, but it's not really, ultimately, it's not really fulfilling the need of joy with other people.
Yeah.
So it's very sneaky.
It's sneaky for me, and so I'm not coming off as judgment. Like what I'd like to be doing every day, all day, is going out and working in the yard. But I don't get paid to go out and work in the yard. I get paid to do other things. And if I have these visions of things that I want to do in my life, including creating retreat center and all the things that most people know that we're doing on the call, and I choose to go do what is easy and enjoyable, but it's actually like a sneaky like part of me. It's actually self-sabotaging. And to go back to Lisa's thing, like, and it's also a sub of like, oh, let me not like John was saying, it's a distraction to something that's greater, to the greatness. You know what I mean? So, the subs are designed to keep us safe. We covered that early on in this work, and so it's like just noticing, okay, I'm identifying with this. Like, how is it keeping me safe? Even though I say I want all these other things, I'm still choosing to do this thing, even though I want all these other things. Still cognitive dissonance, still eating the donuts.
Yeah.
Still eating the donuts. And it just shows up in different ways, different domain, but it's the same exact energy.
Yes, same exact energy.
Yeah.
And again, embracing each of these parts, loving them, right? Not going into critic mode or anything like that with the subpersonalities.
Yeah. Like Sean said, it's a stacking effect.
It is.
Because then, then we're in this hole of like being below the line of like, deep work or self-sabotage. And it's like everything I want's over here.
And when we get to the wheel module, right, we're going to, I don't know if some of you remember from our master class, the skillful wheel, right? We're going to find different ways to do the things we need to do.
The alchemy
right? We're
of
going to
self.
really devise a plan so that we can use that active part of us, right? Because that's what's going to require for a lot of us to move through the subpersonalities. It's going to require that active will.
Yeah.
But we
creating
can
new
do it in a
groups.
way where it's actually fun, right? It's in a way that feels good. We're still inspired to.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
So
So
really
great work.
the next step in the subpersonality work with the game and everything is, and it's really beautiful that it's opened up the conversation, is just to notice when the sub starts to take us down the road to somewhere that is in
Yeah.
misalignment to the life that we say we want,
Correct.
right?
And then kind of, bring yourself back, right? Not allow yourself to just, now that we have the information, right? Now that your conscious is going on, then reel yourself back into the center.
Mm-hmm.
Alinas, before you leave us, because I know you have to go back to your break at the beginning. Yeah, well, we're gonna wrap up soon. At the beginning, I just shared that this call is more integration of the subpersonality work, because everybody's very deep in the thick of the subpersonality.
In the weeds.
In the weeds. And next week is an integration call, so we don't have a call next week, just say integrating week. And so we're gonna give everybody this week and next week to really continue pushing through the bulk of the subpersonality work so that we can start with new material for the next module, okay? So just wanted to give you, so we decided to play a game and it's been super
Yes,
fun.
it was very helpful. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You realize I was literally about to log off. So bye, everyone.
I felt you. Bye.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
You know, how fun is it to actually, like, when we notice that a sub starts to come up, act it out for ourselves. Be like, oh,
Yeah,
oh my God.
totally.
Like, really, like, play with it.
Just
you know?
really bring it. Have fun with it.
Fraser, are you meaning to do that, or?
Amazing. So, John, I am just posted the link, okay, into the announcements again, so you can schedule
your calls with
schedule a
us.
call.
Yeah.
Those of you who haven't, schedule your calls. And we're right at the top of the hour. How does everybody feel? Anybody that wants to work out was play, or you're feeling complete? Fraser the cat.
Fraser's back.
Wait, I can see. Yeah, everybody feeling good? I can play next time. Yeah, okay, we can do that. That's true. We can
If
actually
Eric
do that. That'll
Ballas
be
does.
fun to have some more.
Eric Ballas is acting one out right now. It's called The Sleeping One, I
Yes.
think. We love you, Eric.
We love you. Thank you, John. Thank you all for showing up. And so remember, you have 2 more weeks and really try to go through so that we can.
Yeah, continue to connect with
Move
your
through
buddy and feel
next
free to
module.
reach out to us at any time. We felt like this, you know, kind of like lighthearted way of playing a game, but you can see
Mm-hmm.
like going in, like, you know, the initial sub is sort of the gatekeeper, and then we can get behind the scene.
Yep. And Masha, reach out if you need support, if you're stuck. And then, yeah, schedule or check in. I think it's going to be supportive.
Caitlin, are you sure you didn't want to go ahead and act out your stuff?
I feel like I was actually kind of already doing it by not doing it. I'm the one who doesn't want to be vulnerable. So
What would you call that part?
yeah, I mean, I think I'm like anti-vulnerability, you know? Like
Mm,
Yeah.
I'm very safe right here.
Okay, I'm good. The I'm good one. I'm good.
I'm good.
I got the yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah. Would you like to work through and answer some of the questions with the vulnerable one? No.
That's totally fine too. I get that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Well,
awesome.
We're at the top of the hour, so thank you all for playing.
Yes, thank you for
and,
playing
yeah,
with
we hope that
us.
that's supported. And
Yep.
Masha, good job. Lisa, thank you for your vulnerability. You know, Fraser, you sent a message during the meditation that you weren't able to connect, that you were like built up a stone. That's just something to, you know, to notice as well. There's nothing wrong, but it's like when we start going into those things of like bringing a subpersonality into our heart and everything, it's like, nope, let me, you know.
It was kind of like walking through a cave and then finding a walled off section, and I could see someone moving behind there and couldn't get to them.
So that was your sub on the other side, right?
Perhaps,
Yep.
Maybe.
perhaps.
Maybe, yeah. The part might not be, might not have been ready to do that. That integration work just now. Okay, beautiful.
Great work. So yeah, as far as soul
As
work,
Noah
all we
said, the
really
game
have-
really helped to lighten up and make it relatable and deep. Yes. So soul work is completely, ideally, the soul work up until now. We're not going to give you anything new for
Yeah.
the week. But
Yeah,
just
everybody's had enough to do for a minute.
Yep.
So
so keep up the good work. Schedule your check-in with us and have an amazing week. We love you so much. Incredible work. Oh yeah.
we were watching this show called Squid Games with the kids, and they do this, and they said that that's a heart. It's like if you can imagine the little heart finishing.
Oh, that's cute.
I know. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. It's not worth. We got enrolled. It's Tess Nova's like, don't.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you.
But this is a
So
heart.